Hey everybody, it's been a while. It's good to see you. Back on with the producer's log today. I haven't done an episode of this in a long time. I was using a different camera the last time. I was doing all kind. Oh, hey, thank you, Nate. Will, appreciate it. If you haven't checked out Nate Williams on BeatStars or any of these places, go check him out. He's on Facebook. He does some awesome beat production, some rapping, some music in general. It's really great. So yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah, it's good to be live again, Senna Danny. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, Nate. Well, too. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. First thing is going to be motorized sliders. I've been promising people on my YouTube page that I'm going to be doing a little talk about this, and I just haven't hit it up until now. So we're going to be talking about the difference between these two sliders in particular. One is from GVM. The other one is from Neewer. Both are relatively inexpensive on the scale of things. It's not like the Rhino Arc or anything like the syrup slider that's going to be $1,000 plus. These are closer to $200. You can get some really great results. I think the one might be around like $350. I should look up those prices before I say anything there. Just double checking. Looks like all right. All of our streams are working well. Let's we can close that. I'm gonna bring up my Amazon here because that's where I get all this stuff. All right, so we're talking sliders is the first point. Then next is going to be gimbals. We're going to talk about a couple of different gimbals here. I've got the Feiyu AK2000, which is pretty sweet. It's right here. We're going to talk about that one. Classically, I've just talked about Zhiyun gimbals, which is the only company that I've had experience with. They have all been fantastic. I can't say a bad word about them. But my main one, the Crane 2, has gotten a little bit outdated. There's some kind of new stuff that I'd like to, some new features that I'd like to be able to use when I'm shooting weddings or what have you. So it's nice to get that upgrade, but it's also cool to see what's changed in the market. What kind of features they're packing into these things now, and see where the price point has dropped down to. I remember I got my Crane 2 for about $700 when it was new. That was just it by itself. Now they're selling the Crane 2 with you know what, I'm gonna look this up just so I get the numbers right for you. Crane 2, the whole Crane 2 package, here we go, is going for about $550 right now. So new firmware is available for it. You get the gimbal, you get a follow focus, you get all this stuff. And that thing's great. It's a powerhouse, but it really doesn't have the features that this thing does. Like the power of the motors, the speed at which you can align this thing. It all comes in very handy when you're doing media production. Alrighty, let's see here. Hey, my brother's on the stream. It's good to see you, man. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, by the way. It's we've been staying in touch remotely these past couple of weeks. Everyone's been having to do that lately, obviously because of the quarantines that are going on. So it's good to have people on here and actually chat with everyone. It's good seeing everyone. Well, you know, I can't see you, but you know what I mean. Anyway, all right. So I'm looking at my talking points here. I got a couple of notes that I wanted to add in. I will have to sign into the chat too, make sure that I can see everyone. I think that's it. Alrighty, and then okay, so we're talking about what we're going to be chatting about today. The first thing, sliders. Second thing is going to be gimbals. Next, I'm going to be talking about live streaming in general. I think this is something that a lot of people out there with Facebook pages, with any sort of presence on Facebook, can really start to tap into. If you're working from home or doing anything like that, there's a lot of value that you can bring to your business, to your page, by actually doing a live stream. Those they notify all your followers, and while obviously mine aren't crazy popular, it's still a great way to get in touch with people and make sure that you've got you know, you can get in touch with your whole follower base at one time. You can send out messages for people who do like personal training or yoga or martial arts or any of that stuff, this is a really, really useful way to monetize your practice time. Like I've been noticing, my girlfriend Ashley has been doing a bunch of yoga at home and these live stream Zoom sessions. Subo's still wondering why I'm just going to play Dead by Daylight. I think I have that game actually now, finally. So I'm going to get on that eventually. But I'll be doing some gaming tonight. Today we're going to be talking about production, media, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's basically our content list for today. If I can get to it, I'm going to end up streaming a bit of a short film that I've been working on. It's called Recipe for Disaster, and I'll be doing an AMA throughout, as always. So feel free to ask any questions about media production, video, stuff like that. Nice. Subo got his new mouse pad. All right, so we're in danger now because he's gonna be kicking all our butts with his new mouse pads here. So yeah, let's get into talking about, this is water, by the way, giant jug of water. Let's get into talking about some motorized sliders in a second. I'm gonna have to set some stuff up. So lovely. All right, let's get started here. Wow, thanks for the follow. Oh, that's Ashley sharing the stream. So Ashley, I should mention, has been doing some amazing moderation of our streams. She's been sharing the stream. She's been doing all kinds of things like that. And it's been a huge help. So I wanted to thank Ashley as always. She's actually right in the background. You can't quite see her, but she's back there. Later tonight, we're going to be playing some video games. You might be able to join us if you want to. It'll just be on Twitch. So go to twitch.tv/FCMG_stay. You'll be able to find us there. We'll be sitting on the couch playing some random games. It's always a lot of fun. So thank you for everyone who's joining in. I've got about 6 people on the stream right now, and it's good to see some eyes. I hope everyone's doing well. If you want to type into the chat and let us know how you've been doing, how you've been staying up. Hey, it's Egg Boy, man. It's good to see you on here, my fellow Egg. Yes, brother. It's good seeing you. I wanted to chat some media stuff with you today. So if at any point you hear me say something, you'll be my fact checker. If at any point you hear me say something that's a little bit, doesn't quite cut muster, then let me know. Hit it up in the chat and call me out, because buddy here is he's a media producer from Canada that I've worked with a couple of times. We've stayed in touch throughout the years, and great guy to go to if you ever need any sort of photography. He's the one. So yeah, definitely check out Eggboy TV. I'm going to be doing some hosting and setting up a host kind of thing, auto host. So we'll have some people that are going to be showing up regularly. He's going to be one of them. My brother asks, what's the Twitch link again? What time? So the Twitch link is twitch.tv/FCMG_stay. It's a whole bunch of extra stuff, but here, Ashley's going to paste it in the chats for us. Thank you, Ashley. That was right on time. Yeah, I'll be doing that later tonight. It'll be after probably dinner time. So maybe around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Who knows? But I'm going to be doing the producer's log first. We got to get all this stuff to chat about out of the way. We got lots of things to tell you about with streaming. It's becoming a real big powerhouse for how to get in touch with people. So if you want to follow us for streaming, come back around 7, just like Ashley said. Hey, Stephanie, I appreciate it. And thank you. I'm glad the stream sounds good. This is a microphone that I like using because it gives you a really nice broadcast voice like that. So it's good to see everyone watching. It's nice having people in the chats. Okay. Where do you want me to send you the pic? Send it in Discord. So I'm gonna have to open that with an incognito browser, aren't I? Jeez, the thing's this is Buddy got his new mouse pad, and I'm sure it's got some anime chicas on there. Okay, back to business. Let's drink some coffee. Let's get our head on straight. If anyone's got any media questions, feel free to ask. But I'm going to start talking about some motorized sliders. I've been telling people that I'm going to do a review of these. I'm going to chop it up later, and I'm going to actually post it on Amazon, Facebook, and YouTube as well. We're going to start doing highlights on YouTube instead of entire streams on YouTube. So that'll be fun. Alrighty. Now, let's grab one of those sliders. So, thanks, Sue. So this is the first slider I want to talk about. This is a newer slider. I'm gonna check the price on this boy right now. Also, I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna put an affiliate link in the chats for everyone. Let's see. Newer slider, motorized. Here we go. Okay, so like I said, these sliders are around 200 bucks a pop. This one's coming in at around $233 right now, but it's also on sale. You can save an extra $30 when you apply a coupon. This slider it can hold up to 22 pounds, first of all, which is that's a lot of weight. I don't think I've ever had a camera rig over 15 pounds, and that's with a big camera. I've got monitors, I've got a light on there. There's all kinds of things that are going on. But here, I'm going to grab a link here for you. I'm going to copy that into the chat. Paste it in right here. Beautiful. Motorized slider. Okay, here we go. So here's the link for that one. If you want to check that out, you can follow along. But yeah, okay. So this thing's pretty great. It's really compact. It'll fit in your trunk. It's small enough you can kind of fit it in places. Comes in a nice little bag. It's got a carry strap on it. All that jazz. It's fantastic. Okay. So now we open it up. All right. We have carbon fiber rails, which is really nice. They're super light, but they're very strong. You got these little feet on the end that you can pop out. So if you don't have any stands or anything like that, you can just sit that right on the ground. That'll hold it off, and then you can do micro adjustments with the feet, which is really cool. There's a little 1/4 down there. So as you are working with this thing, you realize there's 1/4 and 3/8 inch holes all the way around. At the bottom, there's a couple in here. And on the other side, there's a couple as well. There's some horizontally on the ends, so you can link these things together if need be. But basically, it's just a really light, simplified, all-in-one slider. It's pretty, I've got it set pretty loose right now because I haven't tightened this thing up in a while. Every now and then you want to tighten down these hex screws, make sure everything's tightened up, because otherwise you're going to start to get slack in your line like that. You want a little bit of slack just so that you're not pushing this thing to its absolute limit. But all in all, it's a compact package. This is a large slider that comes in a very small package. A lot of these things come in big kits and they have to be built out, and there's all sorts of bits and pieces and cables. This is all you need with this thing. You do this, it takes an NPF battery on the end, and then the controller is actually your cell phone. So this is a smartphone controlled motorized slider. I like this one a whole lot, but there's one problem with it. When you use this slider, it makes noise. You hear a little tiny whine from the motor, and it's something that if you're capturing audio at that spot, you're gonna have to do it again in post. It's just not something that's gonna totally work out for that. But it's got some really cool other features, like these two knobs. If you noticed, there's a knob up at the top right about here. There's another one at the other side. I shouldn't say top, that's the either end. So each of those you can adjust when you loosen them up. That changes the angle of the center bar, as you can see. As the slider goes down the track, that center bar attaches to you see that little those little bearings on the inside. As I change it, you can sort of see it moving. That will actually allow you to control the pan of your camera as it moves. So that's a really cool feature that you know, if it was motorized, if that was a motorized function that you had to program, like, okay, tilt from here to, or pan from here to there on this much motion, it gets to be a lot of, you know, hitting buttons and programming things in. Whereas this is an actual manually controlled simple little addition. I love that they started adding these in, and they weren't trying to add in additional motors and additional stuff, because it cuts down on the weight that you can carry. It cuts down on the reliability of the product overall. And this one has given me no trouble. I've used it vertically. You can set it up like this and have your camera raise up and down. I've used it on the ends of jibs and up on tall places. It's really great. You can use it remotely, and the app works from pretty far away. I think I was maybe 80 feet at one point, which is great. So that's the Neewer brand one. Neewer has always been less expensive, but with the right products, you get some fantastic value. Especially if you like know how to use the product. Like, you're not trying to force it to do something weird. If you're using it for its intended purpose, Neewer is typically fantastic. I'm going to grab the next slider, and I'm going to actually use this one. You're going to see some of the effects of it. I'm not going to put my camera on it like I did last time, but I will show some examples in the final videos. So if you come back to my YouTube page, if you search Full Coverage Media Group on YouTube, you'll be able to see those in a couple weeks. That'll be a final video, and it'll be much shorter than this too. It'll be about 3 to 5 minutes long there. Maybe up to 10 minutes if I do a deep dive or something like that. All right, now this one is by GVM, obviously, if you can't tell. GVM is they make a much bigger slider. It comes in a larger case so that it's padded, it's all safe and sound in there. In my opinion, the case looks great. It works really well to like fit with other gear. There's foam on the inside, so it's not going to compress or crush. And when you have something that has that sort of rubber track on it, you really want it to be safe, because if that track gets pulled off or torn or ripped or anything like that, you show up at your gig, suddenly you can't do what you needed to do. So it's good to have a case like this. I like that this one's a little bit bigger, a little bit more robust. Let's get this guy out of here. So right off the bat, my first impression was that it was going to do some sort of camera control stuff, which you can control some basic functions of cameras, but I haven't been able to get any of mine to connect. I think it's Panasonic that works the best with this one. Also, I gotta look up the camera, or the link for it for you. Let's see how much this one is. GVM. Okay, so that last one was $233, and it had a $30 off coupon for, I think it's this one. Oh, no, that doesn't say that's the one that I purchased before. So let's see. I'm going to go through and find the exact version. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty, so I purchased, this is the GR80Q, it's called, which is the GVM, I think it's the 80 centimeter slider, which is the same length as that other one. They're going to look very, very similar. I think a lot of these companies, they use the same manufacturers, they use the same sorts of parts, and it's just like minor differences between them that change them out. So this one obviously has some camera control capabilities. I haven't gotten it to work very well with Sony, but I also haven't really had to try that much because I have other options for doing that. It's got all kinds of power options, so you can plug into power around the world. And a nice thing that this comes with is a little ball head. So this is a little head for your camera. You can quick release it here. You open this up, and your camera pops right out. There's the base plate that goes onto it. This comes free with the slider, and I think this is a fantastic addition because that's something that the last one was lacking. You didn't have anything that it came with that would allow you to angle your camera a little bit differently, other than just like sitting it straight down on the slider, which I would not suggest doing. If it gets stuck or anything like that, like if you screw this thing down too tightly and your camera's directly on there, it's going to be really hard to get it off versus trying to get off the quick plate of, you know, some little little ball head like this. This thing's really cool though, because it's got double locks. You can unlock the pan and tilt individually, and then lock everything down with this button, which is really cool. With this dial, apologies. It's got bubble levels both on the top and in the eye of the side, so you can just make sure that you're steady, whether you're in portrait mode or you're level, whether you're in portrait mode or in landscape mode. So if you're doing like time-lapse photography with this, that's a really good way to know, okay, like we're totally level. You don't need anything else to do this. Typically though, I use video heads. I've been using Kyer tripods for a while, and they all come with these fantastic K3 and H4 fluid pan video heads. I've been loving those. All right, so I'm gonna get a link for this one into the chat. Here we go. This is the GVM motorized slider. Bam. All right, that's another affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anything to go through those links, but if you do decide that you want to purchase one of these items, it does help a great deal for you to go through those. I actually get some money direct from Amazon from that, so not that this is like a sponsored, talk about these things. I just like these products and I use them all the time at work. We actually used this recently with a PBS live stream. They were doing a live stream with Craig Thatcher, and this was the camera that was sliding back and forth was right on this. This had an FS7, which is like a 15-pound camera on there. All right, so you got this nice foam insert, keeps your slider all happy. By the way, the price for this one is about $100 more than our other version. It doesn't currently have any coupons associated with it. But for $330, I think this is a fantastic deal. This one's much more robust, in my opinion. The angled bars, let's lock this thing down. The angled bars move much smoother. You can adjust both of them with just one hand. Not that that's a huge deal. It's just that, having to make each side perfect is a little frustrating. Having to just do one side is lovely. That's just enough. It has the same sort of pan action as the last one that we talked about, but as you can see, the track here is actually much more robust. It's meant to be kind of loose like this, but it's a much thicker cable and it works fantastic. I've had no problems with it slipping so far. It has feet built in, not the articulating ones that the other newer slider had, but these work fantastic too. And honestly, the solid ends of this make me feel really confident that this thing's going to work perfectly and not give me any problems. So I've had a lot of confidence in this product, and it's never let me down. One of the differences between this and the other one is that this is not app powered. It has an actual remote that comes with it. The remote has an NPF slot directly on it and a DC in. So you can either plug in the remote and run it that way, or you can plug a battery directly into the remote and just use it like that. Now I'm going to set this up a little bit. I'm going to put these on some light stands first of all, and then I'll have the FS5 on here with the Kyer head so you can see the whole setup, see what it looks like, and I'm going to run it back and forth a couple of times with the remote. It's a lot easier to set up than using a phone, just because it's a direct plug-in. It's a little USB cable into this thing. It's bueno. All right, so I'm going to play you some music in the meantime, because I think it's I don't want you getting bored in the background. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing some tunes, and then we'll keep chatting about tripods in a minute. I'll keep an eye on those chats though. So if you have any questions about photo video stuff, feel free to ask them right there. I'll probably get back to them once the slider is done, but I will be looking for your chats up there. So let's see. We're gonna listen to some more music from Artlist. That's where I get all my audio from. I have a subscription to these guys, and they've had some great content on there. Let's see. Maybe this one. There we go. I like this one. All right. I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, still working on some setup here. Play one more song for you. I think about 3 minutes will do us. All right, this is Impacts by Curtis Cole. Again, from artlist.io. This one always reminds me of my friend Julian. We did a video about the Lehigh Valley Zoo, and this was the song in the video, and it's just stuck in my head forever. That's giraffes and lions and tigers and all that stuff goes with this. By the way, go check out Adventures with Julian and Chillin' with Julian, which are 2 podcasts. Well, one is a podcast, Chillin' with Julian, and the other one is a YouTube show run by Julian Guiteau. Alrighty, perfect timing. So, I'm going to turn up my volume a little bit. Okay, hopefully that's not too obnoxiously loud. Alright, so, we're putting the FS5 onto a GVM slider right now. You can see... I gotta adjust this a little bit more. Apologies. Okay, hopefully, yeah. All right, you should still be able to hear me and all that stuff. All right, so we have our slider here. I put I believe this is a K3 head onto our tripod here. Gotta move it slowly because you're not trying to force anything. We're gonna get this guy into position. Oh, nice, and there's a little bubble level right there. That's right, I always forget about those. They come in super handy. All right, so this thing is all set up. We have our cable over here into our little control box. This thing has a little switch on the back. Flip the switch, all of a sudden you're on. Cool. All right, so we have a couple options here. Video shot, time lapse, and setting. Time lapse is for photography. Video shot, obviously for video. Pretty simple distinction between the options. Setting allows us to set the start and end points. Oh, that's right. We gotta unlock that first. I always forget about that. There's a little lock mechanism here so that it's not sliding around in your bag or anything like that. So we're gonna set our start parameter about here. To set the options on this thing, you have to press and hold. Angle this back. To set the options, you have to press and hold in the center. That adjusts and sets to your new start. And then you're going to press and hold to go back. That took me a little while to figure out. But I think there were some tutorials for this thing online, so that's not that bad. Let's lower that down a little bit. All right. So now we're going to set our end point. This is at 85% speed right now. So this is, well, it doesn't look like it's going that fast. Ramping up to 100 makes a big difference. And also, you should probably be able to hear how quiet this thing is. It's really not making all that much noise as it goes right in front of the microphone between me and the mic. And we're going to stop the endpoint right there. So we're going to set that with a long press. And then we're going to back out with another long press. Alrighty, we're going to do long press to exit that. And now we can start doing video shots. We can go into auto mode, which will allow us to do an auto loop on this thing, which is fantastic for 300 something bucks when you're looking at $1,000 for other gimbals or other sliders that do the same sort of thing. This is a really, really good option. We'll throw a camera on there so you can see what it's doing. This way you can see into the lens. Hopefully it's a nice view for you. All right, so the camera's gonna be chilling up here, and let's do an auto loop. So speed is 85%. You know what? Let's bump this thing up. All right, you know what? Actually, I'll show you the speed at which I would typically do video. When we were shooting the PBS live stream special with Craig Thatcher, which was awesome, by the way. Go check out Craig Thatcher if you haven't already. King Studios, yo, bud. It's good to see you, buddy. It's been a while. Nice, nice. Working on a new PC install. That's something that we should talk about at some point, is building PCs, because that's something that everyone should be doing. It's crazy simple, but you get awesome results out of it. Yeah, everyone's going stir crazy right now. I'm talking about sliders online. Of course we're going stir crazy. All right, so we're going to set this thing. This was the speed that I had it set at when we were doing the live stream with Craig Thatcher. This is 30%. I'm going to set it off in A to B direction. And as you can see, it's a real smooth, subtle motion. I'm going to do a little bit of a change here. I'm going to adjust these locking points at the end. Then you can see, hopefully, oh, it's just sitting on these two little sticks, so I set it off balance. It should face basically towards the camera as it slides on through. Yeah, King Studios has seen this slider in action. We got to use this for a really wicked video. It was, we were shooting on an Atomos, all this stuff. It was crazy. So yeah, that's the speed that you would really need. So you really don't need to be going much faster than this. This is just about it. But if you want to ramp that up, if you want to make this thing go faster, let's raise the speed. We're going to go all the way up to 100% now. And you'll see just how fast this thing can move. It's also going to be basically looking at you the entire time, which is a little bit odd. So it just did an A to B. So we're going to do a B to A. We're going to send it back. And now it's looping. So the way that we have this thing set up, it's going to just do this indefinitely. You can hear a little bit of friction on the bottom, but that's just about it. You can also set the camera so that it's doing the exact opposite motion. So here I'll show you it'll swing past. Again, $330. These things are crazy. You can add a lot of value to a production just by adding this sort of controlled camera motion. Having control of your motion and motorizing things and making it perfect is a huge difference from being able to do handheld or tripod versions that are almost perfect. That tiny difference between perfect and almost perfect is a huge gap when it comes to film and cinematography and all this stuff. So it's a very inexpensive thing that you can do to get a big upgrade in your quality. All right, so if you caught that whole thing, you can tell that it only took me about what, 7 minutes to set this thing up. I've got it on 2 stands. You could just drop it on a single one with a 3/8 inch, like something like these, just a pair of legs that don't have a head on there. That's kind of when you want to be aware of weight, because it'll start to teeter a little bit side to side, depending on your tripod, depending on your camera setup, everything. But it's a real simple way to add a whole lot of value. This one's $330. You can get the other one that I was talking about, the Newer slider, which basically does the same exact stuff. You can do all those loop settings. You can do all the same things. It's just not quite as robust. Doesn't have the remote, which I really like. But it does. It is powered by NPF batteries. It's real easy to set up. That one's only $200. So if you're ever looking to upgrade your video and do some things like that, that's a great way to invest and get some crazy value out of, you'll be using this thing all the time. It's nuts. Anyway, I'm going to break this down and we're going to start talking about gimbals. I've got this really interesting Feiyu AK2000S to show you. That thing's real sweet. Actually, yeah. King Studios, you have the Newer version. If you don't mind writing in the chat, what's your opinion of the Newer version of this thing? This is the GVM, which is a little bit bigger. It's got the remote control. But honestly, for like the $100 difference between it, I think that the Newer version is just what people need. I'd rather have a remote. Yeah. So the other one, you have to connect your phone via a QR code that's on the side. It does just like King Studio said, does what it does, very smooth. It's fantastic. But it's something that you have to set up beforehand. You have to get your phone connected to it and all that stuff. And sometimes it's a little bit weird. Sometimes you have to reconnect in order to stop it even. Like if you turn your phone off or your phone dies or something, you have to either just unplug the battery or you have to you have to actually like restart your phone, get connected all again, do this whole thing. Whereas this, again, just a remote, which is really nice. Just makes it easy. Alrighty, so that's a pretty comprehensive, inexpensive slider breakdown for you. If you have any other questions about sliders, like what they would use or what they would be used for or anything like that, yeah, King Studios, you had an issue with getting the actual app that runs that that slider. I think they've updated it, so it's back on the what was that? It was the Google Play store. I think it was having trouble with, but it still works great. You know, it still does the thing. And I think that they also might have an updated version that has a remote. Neewer is constantly doing stuff where they're updating products and doing things based on reviews. So if you actually go and review those items, they really take those to heart. I've been working with Neewer for a while, and they've really listened on a few points. It's really cool to see. All right, so next up, we're gonna grab some gimbals. We're gonna talk about this Feiyu AK2000S. I might show you a bit of the M2 from Zhiyun, which is or Zhuin, apologies, which is a really cool little cell phone gimbal. But I might actually be testing out some of the cell phone gimbals from the Pocket cell phone gimbals from Feiyu soon. King Studios and Nate Will, you might be the beneficiaries of some phone gimbals that are getting replaced by these things, or you might even get one of those. Who knows? We're trying to keep our buddies in production, you know, up to snuff with the newest things. Trying to get everyone in a live streaming game. There's a whole lot of value that can be brought from live streaming, as I've mentioned before. So we're gonna chat more about that a little bit later. King Studios, hell yeah. Thank you again for watching and for commenting as always. Nate Will, it's great to see you here. So we're gonna be chatting more about the live streaming process later on, how it can bring value to you and your brand, your page if you have one, or how you can just be a great way to do things at home. Yeah, man, live streaming and blogs. I got to get more into blogs too. There's a lot of like how-to stuff that people can do. And honestly, I've been meaning to do blog versions of the content that's in the FCMG podcast. People chatting together about professional media production, all kinds of different types. Having that information broken down into like an article, that'd be great. But yeah, I would love to hear about, I'd love to read like a beat production article and, you know, your adventures this week in FL Studio and whatever programs that you're using. All right, I'm going to pop on a song for a little bit. I'm going to get these things out of the way, and it should only take about one song, I would say. I live my life in durations of songs. So this is Lagoon by JAK. This is an Artless tune. Alrighty, so we're back at it. I actually stopped that song short. There's another minute and like 12 seconds or something left, but I wanted to hop on and chat with you guys. It's been a while. So how's everyone doing lately? You know, pop into the chat and let us know how you've been. What have you been up to during quarantine? How you been staying sane? I feel like everyone's got their own new method of doing that lately. Alrighty, so I'm just getting kind of readjusted here. Sorry for the clicking around on the microphone. Yeah, Skyrim, that's a good one. Skyrim is phenomenal. That's a great open world game. I would love to stream some of that at some point, but I've been stuck on some other games lately, like Red Dead 2 has been a good one. A lot of Battlefield 1, just because that's a classically awesome game. All right, let's get into some gimbals. So, this boy. Red Dead is a huge game. I literally just got started with it. I had my first day on online yesterday. Witcher 3, phenomenal. Yeah, actually, you and I have been playing that together. 1 beat a day. Nate, that's fantastic. I would love to. Have you been live streaming those? Because I would love to see you live stream those, like the beat production stuff. Do an AMA. Have people come in and ask you anything about, you know, making beats. It'd be really cool. Okay. This thing. This is the Feiyu AK2000S. This is a small to medium-sized gimbal. You can hold big cameras. Like I've had the FS5 on there before, which is it's like an 8-pound camera. That thing's got some serious heft to it. But yeah, this thing it looks great. You get a nice rosewood handle. Very, very pretty. Look at that. Very pretty. Beautiful. Okay. And it's crazy easy to set up. This handle comes off, so you can have it in just like a standalone mode. But the like the gimbal itself is actually so powerful that you don't really need to have it perfect. And there's a lot of gimbals that you have to have it perfect. That obviously depends on the weight that you're working with. When you get closer to like its weight limit, when you're a little bit over the line or a little bit unbalanced, that's going to exceed that weight limit, and that's going to give it some trouble. But this thing has been just doing fantastic. I've gotten to stress test it a little bit. I haven't gotten to use it on as much content as I would like to so far. But that's just because of the quarantine. I haven't been out shooting a whole lot. So, I'm going to do some hands-on reviews with this soon, but it's got some really cool modes. So this is just pan. It'll keep the tilt and all these other axes. That's the, was that the yaw of the camera? I don't even, yaw. I don't even know what it's called. Anyway, this axis, those will stay stable. It'll just pan when you twist the handle of the camera. Also, using this gives you much greater stability on that pan axis. Using a handle that's out from the center, oh god, it feels amazing. It also lets you do a really easy underslung mode. So you can hold this thing like that, and it's just totally fine. No problems at all. Alright, so it also has lock mode. Lock mode keeps it from moving at all. You can adjust it with the joystick on the bottom. And you can also adjust it with, this is really cool. I love that they added this as a feature. The flywheel, if it's not being used for focus, can be used for tilt of your camera. You can set it to other things. Right now it's set to tilt. I can see it right on the touch screen. It's got this little icon right there. Let's see if I can show it to you. It's got a little icon right there. It's a little out of focus, but you can see that up and down icon right there, right there. So it shows you when what it's set to when you're using it, which I love that. There's too many pieces of equipment that just don't tell you what they're doing at the time. It's frustrating. All right, and now you get pan tilt mode. So it'll follow your tilts forward. It'll follow your pans left and right, which is really cool because like it'll do it like based on the horizon. So if you're flat and you're panning, it pans like normal. But if you're facing way down and you pan left and right, it doesn't like swing the camera like this. It instead just tilts the camera. It literally pans the camera left and right on the axis that it's on. That's not something that I've ever seen other gimbals really do. Maybe DJI has those features, but I haven't used enough of DJI's products to really know. DJI, hint, hint. Anyway, all follow mode. This one's really cool. This is the POV mode from Zhiyun Crane gimbals. So there'll be a little bit of delay to your movements to smooth them out, but it'll point in whatever direction you're pointing the dang thing. You can put it upside down. You can do whatever the heck you want, which is awesome. Gives you lots of control over your shots. And now here we go. We're back to pan tilt mode, but it's a little bit off kilter. So how do we do this? There's still a lot of things that I'm learning about this. There's a lot of buttons on this little thing, and I don't. Okay, that's the switch modes. Gotcha. You can do photo or video mode. There's ways for it to connect to your actual camera. There we go. Okay, so little trigger on the front. If you can see that right there, this little guy. You double click that, and it'll reset your camera. So say I go into all follow mode, I do something funky like this, and then I switch it back to, here we go, pan and tilt mode. So now it's on this wonky angle. I switch it back to pan. So yeah, now it'll do the pan setting that I have it in there, but the camera's all wonky. All right, so what do? You click that little button twice. Boop, right back. And it zeroes out the gimbal, which is really, really simple. Makes my job very easy, and I like that. I like it when things make my job easy. Also comes with this little thing. So you get this. This is the base tripod that it comes with. It also attaches up here. You have another 1/4-20 up top, so you can extend your underslung modes and walk more comfortably with your camera in your hand. It gives you the proper amount of distance between your screens so that you can still flip that screen up and see what you're doing. And you can even use it just as this tiny little handle if you wanted to. It really is crazy compact, and I love that they kept most of the... Oh, geez, I'm dropping things. I love that they kept most of the size of the body compressed as much as possible. Like, you can make it bigger if you want it to be bigger. I do really like using this handle down here because it's got a nice grip to it, and this one over here, and using that to control my gimbal. The other gimbals that I've had have all needed aftermarket parts to have it set up in this same sort of way. The Zhiyun Crane 2, while it's a fantastic gimbal, for $550 you get the follow focus, which works on lenses that like you actually have to put like a gear on there. It's kind of hard to get it working. The thread on the thing is in the wrong direction, so it'll sometimes push itself off, like it'll unhook itself, which that I find extremely frustrating. But there's very few situations in which I've actually needed to use that function. So I like the setup of this one, and it also has its own follow focus mechanism, which you can get aftermarket. This gimbal, I'm gonna find us a link here. AK 2000S gimbal. Okay, and now let's find the one that we actually purchased. You know what? I can go through my orders. All right, so I'm gonna get you a link to the actual gimbal that I purchased. It's been a fantastic experience using this thing. I really appreciate the features that they've put into it, and the like especially the breakdown and the setup portions of it. It's made it super, super easy. All right, so here we're going into orders. We're going to pull up. Here we go. Okay, so the Crane 2 follow focus. You get, I think that's it. I think you get the follow focus, and yeah, not even the remote. So there's handles that you can get that are aftermarket for that thing. They're about $50 to $70 a piece. There's also a remote control so that you can have someone sitting away from you controlling the position of the camera and the focus if you have the follow focus mechanism on there. There's a lot of features that you can do with the crane too. It's really, really great. But this gimbal is $350. Right now it's $352 on Amazon, which blows my mind. I mean, I remember when gimbals were not under you couldn't find one under $1,000. Let's get in here. Feiyu AK2000S gimbal. Here's the link. Hit it up. Again, these are affiliate links. If you decide that you like this product and you want to purchase it, I would really appreciate it if you went through those affiliate links. That gives me a little bit of a kickback from Amazon. It does not cost you anything, which is fantastic. That's the way we like it. If I ever hear of any deals or any cool stuff happening with these, I will let you know. And as always, you can find these items on my favorite gear list on Amazon. If you search for Stefan Fulton, you'll be able to find me on there. And that's, yeah. Okay, so I did kind of want to show you the little M2. It's got a lot of the same sort of features, but I think I'm going to save that for when we chat about the Feiyu version. We'll do a little shootout there, and we'll get to show you what's going on. But I'm going to show you a little bit more about this gimbal, and then we're going to move on to talking about live streaming, which I think is going to be really helpful for our media producers out there. I know we've got a couple beat producers and a couple musicians and, you know, production guys on the stream today. So we'll be chatting to you about live streaming directly, and hopefully we'll get you guys to chat in a little bit too, because it'll be a discussion. I'm curious to hear what your experiences have been with live streaming, how it's worked out for you and your channel, and maybe talk about some strategies that we could all use to improve our streaming stuff. I'm going to drink some more Go Juice. All right, let's chat more about this gimbal. So I'm going to turn it off, and you'll see just how unbalanced this camera was. Beep, boop, boop. All right, and it stays in place, which is good. That's what you want. So this is a well-balanced camera. The quick release has little button, like numbers and markings, so I can tell exactly where it is. So I know if I set it to 2 on the back and just about 1 on the side, that's exactly what I need. It'll balance out this camera with a lens hood with the 16mm Sigma lens on there. This is a nice wide angle lens, by the way. If you use Sony or if you use any cameras that take Sigma, try this lens out. It's incredible. Yeah, so to put this thing away, you click these little buttons, and then all of your angles will lock. So you can lock it in place like this, so it's actually just solidly locked into itself. Or you can do this position, which I really, really like. When the gimbal is not in use, it doesn't have a camera on it, this is the by far the most compact way to set it. So you click it into this sort of side position like that. You'll take your camera off, you unlock it with this little screw, which is also the adjustment screw for that back end. Pops right off. Little tiny quick mount plate, super easy. So now you've got this thing. Looks like some weird power tool from a I don't know, Dead Space video game or something. Yeah, so you've got this little thing. Stays in your bag perfectly fine. It does have a case that came with it. It's a like a hard foam plastic case. Keeps it nice and protected. The arm of the gimbal comes off really easily. Comes off with 2 Allen keys over here and 1 Allen key over there. These 2 are different sizes so that you get different threadings. So don't lose that one. I like to just keep it on here all the time, though. Honestly, I just use this handle constantly. Then finally, you've got our 2 USB ports up here. These I have yet to figure out what they do. I haven't done a deep dive into the connections that this thing has, but I know that there's a lot of ways to control your camera focus, to control your pan and tilt, and to control the settings actually within the camera itself, which I think is really, really cool. Being able to adjust aperture and monitor your power and actually power your camera from the gimbal, because this thing has a huge battery inside of it. I think it's like 5,500 milliamps or something like that. It's supposed to last for 10 hours. The one thing that I did like on the Crane 2 over this is that the batteries are 18650 like e-cig vape batteries. So if you have 3 of those, you can use those right in there as like backups. So I always have an extra pair of 18650, extra set of 3 18650 batteries with me. And that means that if my gimbal somehow runs out, I have another 12 hours of juice just waiting for me. I have yet to test if this thing can be powered via USB. It does have a USB-C port, which if you know about power over cable, then you'll know that USB-C is way faster charging things than USB micro or USB mini. Yeah, otherwise this thing's been doing great. I realized I have yet to take off that plastic screen. Oh, you know what? I wonder if we can. Ready? I don't know if you could hear that, but I hope you could. So everything's all screened up, so you're all protected. But I'll show you how to align this thing, because it really is just crazy easy. You know, I told you that I have my specific settings for those side parts. You can do the same for each axis. Like the up and down of the actual camera itself has lines on the back. The forward and backward position of the camera also has lines. So you can set all of these things in advance and literally just write down like, okay, for this combination of camera and lens, I need this. All those settings, you dial them in, you're done. You're good to go. Because it doesn't really change unless you're putting more crap on there. Yeah, so I was gonna do a balancing video, but I know all my settings, so it's just gonna be 2 seconds. It doesn't make sense to even show it. Yeah, so Feiyu AK2000S. This is a fantastic gimbal. Definitely worth a check if you're in the market for gimbals. If you want something for your camera that's not gonna break the bank, it's not anywhere near $1,000. But you know, is crazy reliable. This is definitely the one that'll do the trick. All right, so we have something else to talk about now. I want to chat with you about live streaming in general. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. I'm trying to think of other. There's Mixer, there's XSplit, there's Restream. You can stream directly from Restream now. There's tons and tons and tons of platforms. There's Zoom, there's Skype, there's tons of ways in which live streaming or some sort of live video presentation can be a huge benefit to you, either personally or professionally. And I think that that's all the more important nowadays, where we're living in a quarantine and we're not able to go to workplaces and we're not able to convene with people. Getting online, doing some game streaming with your friends, that can be really fun. I like to join in on other people's streams. I like to hop in on my friend Kyle's streams every now and then. He hosts streams and we'll play games that we can all jump in on without having a purchased copy of that video game, which is fantastic. You know, we can all play Mario Party together, even though we're all in different houses and sometimes even different time zones. So if there's anyone watching right now, I know we're down to about 2 viewers, but I'm going to open it up right now for an AMA. Let's talk about live streaming. Let's talk about how these things have affected your life and how it's sort of changed on your end. I'm going to add that in the comment. Oh, wow. Okay, so Nate Will just hit me up. Artist page on Facebook is dead. Basically a place for memes to die. I should have been going live on it. I feel you, man. I have a page, Stay Heavy Studios, which I got up to about 1,000 followers, and just nothing happened with the page because I ended the business. Like, I was going in a different direction with the way that I was trying to market myself, and that just wasn't the way to do it. But I realize now that if I had been doing live streams and live content where I'm showing my personality on the page, my personality doesn't really change. So I would have been able to translate that into whatever brand I really wanted to, because it's me. It's my personal brand. That's what kind of gave birth to Full Coverage Media Group, which now is, you know, it's getting there. It's slowly working its way up. I think we're at 100 some followers on Facebook, but definitely get into some live streaming, dude. There's ways to live stream to both your personal accounts and your Facebook page. I wouldn't suggest doing that right off the bat just because it pulls your viewership kind of apart. I would do the stream to your page and then share that to your personal. Yeah, you do have a big personality, man. Like, I think that's why people love watching you rap and like hearing you rap and like hearing you in music and stuff like that, is because you connect with your audience and you have a great way of like showing off your attitude without being like an affront to them, you know. Like there's a lot of people, like, they're really, you know, gregarious and out there and like good at talking to people, but like they get just like in your face a little bit too much. But you're that perfect medium ground, man. Get out there and use that personality. If you could be doing some live streams about beat production, if you're doing daily beats, that's a great opportunity to live stream the process and just talk to people while you're doing it. And it doesn't have to be, you know, all of this stuff with the extra crap on the sides and your chat showing up. People just appreciate, you know, decent lighting. Make sure you've got a nice light right in front of you. Like, in here, if you could see my setup, if I could show it to you, it's way different than what it looks like in normal life. Like, I turn the lights off in the background and put on some obviously blue and red crap. But it's mostly just one big light in front of me. Not even necessarily like a powerful light, but just a big physical size light. So if you have like a window, if you have, I'm trying to think of other giant sources of light. If you have like drop ceiling with those lights, those can be a little harsh. Like fluorescent isn't that great on skin color, and it's also like a top down light. You want to have something kind of 45 degrees up from you, so it's catching you in the actual eyes, like people can see your eyeballs. Otherwise they're gonna get a lot of shadow, which you can see like that. When I do it like that, it's, you know, catching shadow in the eyes. So just decent lighting. Make sure your audio is okay. If you can use like headphones that have an audio jack in them, if you're using your phone, that's a great way to improve your audio. Otherwise there's tons of options for 3.5 mil microphones. I might actually have one for you if you could use that. But otherwise, small GoPros or like small cameras that are meant for video can be a nice way to up that quality. I've been meaning to talk to you about that, actually. Nate, I might have a GoPro Hero 5 session that you could use. I was using that thing for years as a vlogging camera, but now we have this little guy, which you guys are looking at me from, which is the Sony RX02, and I think that's going to replace it. So yeah, we'll see if we can get you set up with doing some live streams from a Hero 5S. I definitely want to see your personality more on the interwebs, and hopefully we'll be maybe we can pair that with some lights and stuff like that. We'll get you set up with do some live streaming. Like, obviously we'll have to do that after this quarantine thing goes through, but yeah, we definitely gotta make use of some streaming. King Studios is another one. I've been trying to get on them for a little while. They're always busy with producing bands and stuff like that. They got their own things going on. But there's I think people would love watching like live stream of a band going through tracking, or maybe not going that personal, but yeah, we definitely do need to do a photo shoot. It's been a while. it's been a while since I've seen everyone, so it's good to have everyone on the stream and in the chat right now. I really appreciate everyone popping in and saying hello. It's been like 2 weeks since I've seen people. I'm lucky to have Ashley here, and my parents are upstairs. I've been kind of trying to watch after them, but yeah, it's been a wild time. All right, so I'm gonna be trying to get on a schedule. I always say this, I know, but I'm gonna be getting back to Mondays for that producer's log. That's what this is. Hopefully, big fingers crossed on this. I might be working with a company doing these producers log streams. That would be a huge help. It would get me on that regular schedule for sure, and then I can come and chat with all you lovely people. That's going to be on Monday, shooting for around noon, just because everyone's on their lunch break. There's relatively few people streaming on Twitch and doing live streaming stuff on Mondays on the typical work day. So I'm trying to hit you at the time where you're going to be able to see it on your work, like on your lunch breaks, or if you're working at home, you'll be able to put it up on a side screen and kind of watch from there. I know that might make it a little hard for chatting in, but if possible, you can always just drop a chat in the line and or drop a line in the chat, and I will get back to it. You can always watch the live stream back and get that response later. Also, if you comment on these afterwards, I'll bring those comments into the next streams. If anyone has questions, I'll be writing them down. I'm actually taking a journal now of my streams, so there's like written content that follows what I keep saying in these things. 'Cause it's easy to make promises in these things and then not follow through. So that's another tip for streamers out there. If you say something on your stream, follow through and do it. Part of that gimbal thing was or part of the sliders breakdown earlier was for someone on YouTube who called me out. They're like, "Hey, I really love your videos, but you said you were going to do a video on sliders. Where the heck is it?" Yeah. So hopefully we'll be working with some new people soon. But I'll be posting new gear reviews on. We're going to be doing them on the streams, so you'll see these gear reviews ever increasingly. I'll be doing some talks about different pieces of gear that I have, comparing them, and talking about other options that are out there. I'll be sharing affiliate links, and it'll be a great time. But then I'll be doing individual uploads of 3 to 5 minute snippets. Those are going to be going out to Facebook and probably Instagram, and then Facebook will be getting longer form, YouTube will be getting longer form, approximately 10-minute long videos. Longer breakdowns, more in-depth stuff, things that I really want to like do some experimenting on and test over time, and also highlight videos. So the live streams are going to get chopped up into a couple different ways. Also, I'll be doing evening Twitch streams. I'll be on twitch.tv/FCMG_stay. You can find me there. I'll be doing video games of all kinds because, you know what, I realized I just fell in love with that stuff. It's been a long time since I've had like people to play with on video games. I used to have an Xbox with multiple controllers. I used to, have consoles and stuff like that. All of those are gone from my life now. I don't have any consoles, so I've been getting back into PC gaming, and it's been so satisfying. But as always, I maintain an AMA about photo video media stuff on there. So if I'm playing Call of Duty, you can ask me what camera you should buy. It's totally fine. I'm always willing to do that. If you can find me on any medium, you can always ask me about gear questions. Gear questions, photo questions, video questions, graphic design, business, whatever. Anything related to this stuff, I'm happy to chat about that. Also, I've been working on getting that Twitch affiliation. You don't really need that much. Oh, my brother just chatted in. He says he's been playing Tenchu Z every day. Oh my gosh, this game is 2008. That's fantastic. I think you'll like this. I just downloaded Fable. If you remember that series, it was like $10 on Steam. I could get the whole the whole franchise. So I'm gonna be playing some Fable soon. Probably, going with another evil character, but whatever. Yeah, so speaking of, I've been doing these gaming streams on Twitch, trying to get a Twitch affiliation. You need 50 followers, which I already have. I've got about 1,000 actually. There was this huge flood the one day, and I really appreciate it that someone did that for me, but I'm not sure if it helped or hindered. So I've got enough followers. I've streamed enough time. Hey, Chris, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's great to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following and all that stuff. Just got the notification. It's Chris is someone I worked for up in Canada and great friend of mine. He's now the last I heard, Chris was traveling the world with a boxer as his manager. He was doing some world heavyweight stuff. It was awesome. So Chris, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. It's fantastic to hear from you. I really miss you. And I miss the barley as always. That place was amazing. It was a mecca. Anyway, hope you're doing well. It's good to hear from you. So yeah, I've been going for that Twitch affiliate push. All I need to do is get my average stream viewer count up. I need to get to 3. My average is so far at 2. And we'll, anyone who feels like going to Twitch, twitch.tv/FCMG_stay. That's where you'll find me. If you just throw that on whenever I'm on, I would really, really appreciate it. Even if you just mute that tab. Don't mute the actual stream because then it doesn't count as a view. But if you mute the tab that you're watching my stream in, you can just let it run, and that would be beautiful. Chris, love you too, man. Oh, it's great to hear from you. It's really, really great seeing you. Oh yeah, just great. You ever had those, like, you had a boss that you worked with that was just like you would do anything for him? Like Chris was that guy. He inspired so much confidence. It's great hearing from you. So yeah, we've been doing the Twitch push. If anyone wants to go to Twitch, I really appreciate that. That would be a big help for me. Trying to get those average stream levels up. And finally, I'm also trying to get Patreon going. I want to get some additional value out there for people. So far, I just have it set up so that you will become a member of our private Facebook group, where I post previews of things. Sometimes things that don't even make it out to the public, or sometimes things that are, it's sold as a gig and I can't ask other people for, like, I can't share it publicly myself. So you get to see some kind of behind the scenes there, some inside stuff, and the occasional poll and, fun things. But also you would get added to our private Discord as well. So that's where the AMA really takes off. If you go to patreon.com/FCMG, you can become one of our patrons, and that would be huge. I think it's $1 a month, and you get added into our Discord if you want, which allows you to just send in questions about photo, video stuff anytime. I will answer as soon as possible, and I hope to always be your resource for photo, video, media questions of all kinds. If you're setting up a website, you're doing a website yourself, and you want someone to come check it out and be like, hey, what can I edit? Send it over. Send me links to your projects, all that stuff. I love that stuff. I love giving advice on media. I've been doing it for a long time. Ever since I was 12, I was doing courses in, graphic design and print photography, all this crap. So yeah. All right. Yeah, so Patreon, if you really want to get involved, if you really want to be able to ask questions anytime, that's the place to go. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone who's been watching. It's great having everyone on stream. The next time I'm on stream, next Monday, is Monday around noon. I'll be streaming Recipe for Disaster, which is a short film I'm working on for Kathy Fiorillo. She's director of something, or she teaches at DeSales University. She does all kinds of stuff with acting and with stage and stuff like that, and with film. So I've been doing a project for her, and it's been a really interesting process. It's she was saying that it was a little bit chaotic getting the footage together and all this stuff afterwards. So it was it was a crew that she doesn't have anymore. So I'm basically taking all these pieces of a production and putting them together into a timeline, which is a really great experience for me. It's a lot of figuring out problems and figuring out the best ways to do things. So Kathy's really given me a great opportunity here to work on that, and you'll be seeing some of that next time. As for now, I'm going to be killing the chat in a little bit, or the stream in a little bit. I'll stay on for any questions that anyone has. Feel free to ask me stuff in the chat, as always. And yeah, I'll be on next Monday at noon for the Producer's Log live stream. Yeah, which hopefully we might have some additional help with that, which would be really cool. Maybe we'll have a more active chat next time. I mean, it was great having everyone in the chat today. I really appreciate everyone watching and chatting in. Man, hearing my brother talk about Tenchu Z just blew my mind. This is an old like ninja video game. You can jump off the roof and yeah, you know, fantastic. All right, so we'll be back up soon. I really appreciate your time. I'll be streaming again in the evenings, probably around 6 or 7 p.m. each night. I'll be doing some gaming, playing stuff on Origin. We've got Origin Premier Access, which means we have tons and tons of games on their library. And then I've also got an extensive Steam library, so we'll be playing some games there as well. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you out on the stream ending screen. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. And as always, you can comment and get in touch with us via Facebook, Instagram, or now we even have a Twitter at FCMG_stay, where you, well, at FCMG stay, because there's no underscores on there, where you can send us questions and all that stuff. So it's been great talking to everyone. It's been great seeing everyone, and hopefully you're doing well. We'll catch you soon, and I will leave you out with a tune. Have a good one, everyone.